I have to say, for those of you watching at home, a nice thing that happens with our show here, Get Involved Pittsburgh, is a lot of networking actually takes place in the studio. I think every person on our show so far has exchanged business cards with everyone else that's going to be on the show. It's been absolutely fantastic here. It's something I definitely encourage all of you to do at home. Make sure that you get the contact information from people as you meet them, and follow up with them too, and see how you can do business together, work together, or serve better in your community together as well. Our next guest, I branded him as the fresh face of the Republican Party in Butler County here in Western PA. It's Ben Holland. Ben is a school director out in Butler and is also the Young Republicans chairman in Butler County. Thanks for being here, Ben, with us here in the studio today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Now, those watching at home are probably saying to themselves, this guy, he looks like he's 15 years old. He could be my grandson. I even feel sometimes like I could be your father. Just a very fresh face. Glad to see all that you're doing out in Butler. We're happy to have you here in the city of Pittsburgh as well. You ran and won for school board at a very young age. I told the story earlier in the show about Congressman Schock and how he got going on his political career. What drove you to run for school board at such a young age?
Well, actually, when I was a senior in high school, I had worked with some school directors who are currently incumbents, and then some interested candidates who wanted to run, particularly their de facto campaign manager. And that was back in 2005. And in 2007, there was actually going to be a vacancy on the board, or at least on the ballot, because a current incumbent school director did not file his petitions correctly. I was actually informed about it just literally days before the election. I got on the phone and called several dozen folks, asked them to consider running, and literally hours before the primary election, after talking with the school board president, other members of the board, political mentors, community leaders, decided to launch a write-in campaign. Was successfully placed on the primary ballot, and then was elected to the school board in November of 2007.
A tough question that a lot of young people get when they run and also win for political office. What do you know? How could you serve effectively in the role at such a young age? What was your slogan or your campaign theme? What kind of things did you share with voters to reassure them that you would serve effectively in that role?
Well, the first thing that I thought of when I was actually approached about this vacancy on the ballot was, who else can I get to run?
Yeah.
And that's why I made several calls. And once I found that nobody really had the commitment to run, then I decided, well, I'll step up to the plate and serve. So I ran on basically two principles, and that was lower taxes and more local control of education. So I kept it simple. I kept a platform that I could make promises upon and keep them.
I believe I read recently, too, in a Tribune Review article, that you actually passed an $88 million budget without raising taxes. Is that true?
That was last year's budget,
okay.
And we'll do it a second year in a row at the end of this month, although we are up to $92 million, $92 million budget, but once again, free of any tax increases.
I remember I came home from my sophomore year of college. I just had become student body president. I was 19 years old. $1.1 million budget for the student government in college, and my mom looked at me and said, who would trust you with $1.1 million? Ben Holland, what does your family think of all this? What do they think about the fact that you're part of a board that holds and controls $88 million, $92 million?
Well, the fact that I was nominated when I was 20 and elected when I was 21, most people really, at the time I was actually still in college, most people would not entrust a 21-year-old college junior with $92 million, but $92 million.
We should say you're at least an accountant, though, so that's good.
Well, I had the accounting skills to back me up, but it's been a huge opportunity, and I'm humbled by the opportunity to serve them with their hard-earned money. It's a huge tax liability, and for many families, it's a burden. So. I am pleased to say that thus far I've kept my word. In terms of my family, really the first thing out of their mouth was, why do you want to do this? But they continued to be supportive, and I'm thankful for their support.
That's great. I know still in your political life, you're the chairman of the Butler County Young Republicans. For people out there that are watching, what do young Republican or young Democratic groups generally do?
Well, the young Republicans and the young Democrats are usually young professionals, younger voters between the ages of 18 and 40. And I like to say we are the true grassroots of the party. We are the folks going out, knocking on doors, talking with voters, helping run the basic logistics of the local and statewide and even federal campaigns.
Great. I know in your new professional life, you're a recent graduate of Grove City College. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And I know that you have your first professional position now with McCrory and McDowell, and you actually work down the hall from the county chairman, Jim Roddy, right?
Yes, well, I will be, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How's that experience been, kind of stepping out of college, professional life?
Well, I'd actually been in professional life while in college. I became a banker at the age of 19, so I had 3 years in banking and lending. Moving on over into the accounting side, a lot of people tell me I don't have the personality of an accountant, but I sure do enjoy dealing with numbers because one thing about accounting, numbers don't lie.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. We talked about Aaron Schock, how he kind of had the trajectory from school board to state rep to Congress by 27. Can you surpass that? Your future holds such great political future promise?
I certainly take it one day at a time. I don't want to say that I look forward to a political career. I'm humbled at the opportunity that the residents of the Butler School District have entrusted in me to serve them. I look to continue to serve them faithfully. Again, if an opportunity opens up down the road, I certainly might consider it.
Great. Now, if we have any, high school students, college students watching the show online or at home, or maybe high school or college students that are interested in maybe, motivating their youngsters to run for office, what would you say to people that are thinking about running for office at a young age?
Well, now you're really getting to what I'm passionate about, and that is, being the chairman of the Young Republicans, I look through voter lists and I see that not too many people between the ages of 18 and 39 vote. Mm-hmm. There are actually more 40-year-old registered voters who vote more than anyone else combined. So basically, you take those age groups, 18 to 30, there are less voters in that category than there are 40-year-olds. So my thing is, don't wait until you have a tax liability. Don't wait till you're married and have a family to get involved. Take the initiative, get out there, learn about the issues, learn about the candidates, and take responsibility for the future of your community.
That's great. Well, I must say that my wife and I are proud super voters, so we do listen to the Ben Holland principle there. That's great. What do you think it is? Very fascinating stat that you just shared with our viewers. Why don't people 18 to 39? Is it because they don't have a family yet, or why don't you think people vote?
I just don't think they feel that they're affected by the issues yet. Mm-hmm. They don't have a tax liability. They're not married. They're not raising a family. They're coming out of college. They're starting their career. They're busy with a number of issues. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the policies that are coming out of Harrisburg and out of Washington, D.C. Really hit home yet.
Okay. Well, Ben, I want to thank you for being here with us. Good luck with your political pursuits and school board service out in Butler County, and also your professional life here down in the city of Pittsburgh. We're glad that you at least spend 8 to 6 with us every day in the city of Pittsburgh working hard for your company. So thanks for being on the show, and we look forward to even better things out of you in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. Again, my name's Tom Baker. Please get out there and get involved today, Pittsburgh, and make a difference for our city. Thanks a lot.